Thousands of Tiger fans take over the area around Tiger Stadium about 8 times a year, laughing, playing football, barbecuing. The G&G Express is one tailgate that Tiger fans have been seeing for almost 20 years, and we decided to go check it out.
We're out here in front of one of the most recognizable tailgates on LSU campus, and this beloved Bengal RV looks like it might be in need of a facelift.
It's very hard to get the parts to fix it, so Stinky needs a new motor and a new radiator, and instead of just getting rid of her, we want to save her. So many people have tailgated here the last 20 years, and Stinky is a part of their memory that they're all, would like to contribute. So it is considered an antique, and we've been here for, almost 20 years tailgating, and everybody knows her. We love her.
I see a lot of autographs around here. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Whenever I see somebody really important, we grab them off the thing. I said, oh, you got to come in and sign our Wall of Fame. And people are just amazed by it, and they feel honored. We have Nick Saban, who signed it. No Mercy, Nick Saban. And we got Skip Burtman, our former baseball coach and athletic director. Mark Emmert, who's now in charge of the NCAA. So, and then Paul Maneri, our baseball coach, has signed it. Lolo Jones, David Toms.
What would you say to somebody who did say, why don't you just go and buy a new motorhome, more modern motorhome?
Well, it's not about being modern and having all the luxury. It's about memories.
Could you tell us how to donate?
Sure. First, come by the tailgate. We'll give you a beer or water, and you can donate right there. Food, we got all of that. So come by and we'll do that. Tax deductible.
And
Is that right?
Stinky, right? And Stinky is located outside of Gate 1, directly across from Tiger Stadium and South Stadium Drive. You cannot miss this. It's the funnest, best tailgate at
in the
LSU.
world. Yes. Go Tigers!
This is Seth Hulin for TigerTV.
All right, you and Ryan, of all people, have been to a lot of college towns. It seems like y'all always come back to Baton Rouge and you always talk about Baton Rouge on the show. What is it that you like about Baton Rouge and LSU specifically?
It's unique. The passion for college football is not unique here, but this place is. And it's funny, all the other SEC fan bases tell me that they talk about y'all like you're savages, like you're the worst people in the world. And I always say, well, they're great to us. And I just think it's because we've been honest about this place and talked about how great it is. And Tiger Stadium for the Alabama game is the greatest environment I've ever been in sports, bar none. The best I've ever seen. And so we talked about it positively because that's what it was. And if it wasn't great, I wouldn't have said it was great. But I love the people down here. We've gotten to know some of them. My relationship with Les has been a lot of fun too. He gets us and we get him, and all those things. I think people appreciate us because they know we appreciate them.
Obviously, y'all covered it during the show, but could you go ahead and do a quick rundown of your thoughts on the game during that wind-driven dupe?
Well,
might have.
I told Les, he said, yeah, I said, it might not rain in the stadium, but it damn sure rained out here today, and all these people came out, which was unbelievable. I don't know how you talk about a game with Johnny Manziel. Like, we pick games every week. I don't know what you do with Manziel, because it's 3rd and 8, and you blitz him, and then he's going to run a screen pass, and then the next thing you know, he's either running or Mike Evans is wide open. Like, I just don't know how you handicap a game with Johnny Manziel, because there's nobody like him. You cannot game plan for him, because, as I said, you plan for this and then it's that, and it went from this to that in the midst of one play. So I'm not trying to punt on the question other than to say I just look forward to watching it to see what he does, because I don't know what it's going to be, and he doesn't seem to either.
So no chance I could get a score prediction out of you?
I'm not good at that, really. I mean, I'll tell you.
I'm not doing my job if I don't ask like yours.
I can't give you that. But you should bet on the Miami Dolphins there. How about that? I'll give you a pick. I'll give you a pick on the Miami Dolphins plus the points. I don't know if I'm supposed to endorse that. Is this like state-run TV? What am I doing?
In Vegas, they use a spread or a line to get people to bet on what might be a perceived underdog. For example, not a lot of people are going to bet on Vanderbilt over A&M, but more people might take the Commodores if they're spotted 17.5 points. So the line on that game, Vanderbilt plus 17.5. Now remember, the wise guys in Vegas are going to want to set a line where equal amount of people are betting on each side. The line for today's game, Furman plus 47. Now I went around to the tailgaters and talked to them, found out how many people thought that LSU was going to cover the spread. In other words, how many people thought that LSU was going to win by almost 7 touchdowns.
It's LSU by about 52, right?
47 last I checked.
47, yeah.
You think they'll cover?
We'll cover. We'll absolutely cover, yeah.
That's some bold words right there.
I got faith, man. It's
right.
going to be a great day.
We'll win by 52, though.
Yes, I think we'll cover. I think Jennings will play, score 3 touchdowns.
Do you think we'll cover?
Oh, yes, definitely.
You think we'll beat Furman by more than 47 points?
Oh, yeah.
You think we'll cover?
They should.
So far, the only person I've found taking Furman, even with almost 7 touchdowns, is a woman who thought we wouldn't run up the score. It's 47 points.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think LSU will be Furman by more than 47?
No, hopefully they'll be gentlemen and stop at 47.
There were definitely some tailgaters I talked to who couldn't care less about the spread on the game. 47 points last I checked.
Hey, who cares? We're here for the party.
Sounds like it's going to be a close one, huh?
There was others I talked to who just broke in the impromptu musical performances.
Sing it. Yeah.
Thanks, and back to y'all on the journalism patio.
We're live right inside the journalism building right outside Tiger Stadium.
It's the first SEC game of the year. Auburn Tigers are coming in hungry for a win.
It's a TigerTV Tailgate show, and it starts right now.
Welcome to this year's 3rd straight edition of the TigerTV Tailgate Show. I'm your host, Morgan Beard. Now, we have a change of scenery this week as the rainy weather outside has forced us to pack inside the journalism building, but we're still in the middle of the tailgating action as everyone's crammed inside here preparing for the game tonight. But we also have a change of host as well, as I'm joined on my left here by the great Seth Hulin, and then over here on my right, the beautiful Rachel Richlinski. And Seth, I'm going to start with you. It's your first show. How are you feeling, and are you ready for some football?
I'm so excited right now. Nasty weather outside, but it's going to be a beautiful game.
Rachel?
Oh, I'm so glad to be back. You know, who cares about the rain? It's still football. We're still here. It's all that matters.
That's the best thing I've heard all day.
Oh, yeah.
It's so true. And guys, we have a jam-packed show for you this afternoon that includes 2 very special guests. One is LSU women's basketball head coach Nikki Caldwell, and the other is an LSU basketball legend, former men's basketball head coach Dale Brown. Sits down with our own, living legend, sits down with our own Patrick Clay for an exclusive one-on-one interview. And we'll also check the scores around the nation and give you an update on today's games.
But as we all know, LSU is going to be playing Auburn tonight in their SEC opener, and that's always an entertainment, exciting game. Can't wait to see that happen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, Rachel. No matter what the quality of the teams is, no matter what they're ranked, unranked, whatever, when Auburn and LSU play, you know it's going to be dramatic. Even last year, going into Auburn,
when it didn't really matter.
going into Auburn, heavily favored, 12-10 victory right at the end.
Always going to be close, always a good game.
Exactly, and now for an even closer look at the rivalry, our very own Johnny Lombardi shows us how it's developed over the years.
Let's hear it, John.
And now that Johnny Lombardi kind of recapped the history of the rivalry, Seth, what is your favorite memory or favorite moment over the years between Auburn and LSU?
Now, I certainly can't say it's my favorite. A couple years back, though, when we played Cam Newton, there was a lot of anticipation about the game, and I thought we were going to be the first team that they were going to lose to. We go in, like you saw in the highlight, 10-10 early in the 3rd quarter, but Cam Newton was too much of a man, and he would not be denied a national championship. They ended up pulling away in the end.
I remember that game. I missed it. I missed the second half because of a wedding. I know. But I remember
Terrible
that
fan.
Cam Newton came in there, and LSU couldn't stop Cam Newton, and it turns out it was on the road to the national championship, and it was a storybook ending for them.
Right.
But now on a more positive note, Rachel, I know it was before all of our times because, we weren't born in '88, but I know your parents had to talk about the earthquake game back in the day, right?
Of course. I mean, they never stopped talking about it. Growing up, that's all I ever heard about was the legendary game. And, I really wish I would have been there to see it, but wasn't born yet. So.
And it's actually the 25th anniversary of the game coming up in a few days, actually.
That is true.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, coming up in the show, LSU women's coach, head basketball coach, will be here for an exclusive interview.
Welcome back to the TigerTV Tailgate Show. We're here with head of the Lady Tigers basketball team, Nikki Caldwell. How you doing?
How you doing, Seth?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you? Let's get right into it. You've been here for 2 seasons. Tournament appearances, first two seasons here. Sweet 16 appearance last season. Tough loss against Cal late in March. Now, what does that type of loss, what kind of resiliency does that give to your team moving forward into this season?
Well, when you look at the way we lost against Cal, I thought our team came out and gave a lot of effort, a lot of heart. So the one thing that we wanted to take from that loss was that we've got to be better than what we were last year. And so one of the main focal points of this season, or in the off season, was us to become stronger, faster, quicker, and be more explosive in our transition game. The other thing that we've done a great job of is we've implemented the help of the Marine Corps. So we're taking on some of their leadership traits and some of their philosophy.
Yeah. That's really cool. That's really cool. A lot of people back home were following y'all on your Spanish trip this summer. 11-day trip like that, obviously all the girls getting to spend a lot of time together. You getting to spend a lot of time with the girls. What is that? Is that going to translate into something we can see on the court this season? A trip like that?
Well, of course it will. I appreciate us having an administration that believes in allowing our student athletes to go and study or go learn other people's culture, and it gave us an opportunity to spend some quality time with each other. We played a tough team in France, with a team from France, they had all-pro players, so it also gave us a chance to gauge where we were on the basketball court. But that type of trip gives your team a cohesion that you can't even really put your finger on it. But we know that that's just going to help us get ready for the season to come.
Absolutely. And you have a lot of players coming back, a lot of veterans coming back, but a lot of people are excited about some of the freshmen you have coming in, Rain Moncrief, Jasmine Rhodes. How quickly are we going to see this recruiting class contributing meaningful minutes in the fall?
Immediately.
Wow.
We're gonna expect them to come in and be ready to not only fill some starting roles that need to be replaced, but also fill those minutes. We're going to need them to fill the scoring that we lost with Adrian Webb and Bianca Lutley. But I love their intensity and they're hard-nosed kids. I mean, they love to get after it on the defensive end. So we're going to be better defensively as well. But Regine Moncrief, Jasmine Rose, Rena Hill, I couldn't ask for a better freshman class.
All right, and we are a football show, so we're going to have to talk about the game a little bit.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the game? 2-3-0 SEC teams coming in. What do you think?
Well, I think we've got to be, obviously, we can't take anybody lightly. And in the SEC, every win matters.
Right.
And, I'm a coach that I like to put the ball in the air. So transition for me is probably considered passing in the football game. But I think Les Miles and his team, they're ready. They've done a great job in preparing, and they know what's at stake.
Could we get a prediction from you for the game?
You want a scoring prediction?
Score prediction.
I'm just going to say we're going to win. We're just going to win.
And can't give us your best guess.
I don't want anybody to take this to the betting lines,
We understand.
No, but we're going to, I see us being victorious. No.
And real quick before we go to break, I was reading about a banana relay y'all are doing October 6th.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. October 6th, we're doing a relay, a 5K relay to just promote healthiness and making sure that everybody understands that we're here to give back to our community. And we're going to be out there. You can tag team with a partner, and you actually exchange a banana. So instead of a baton, you're going to exchange a banana. And families are welcome to come out. You can come out with your kids or dogs. It's going to be here on our campus or start here at the PMAC, and you can just visit our website and come and join us.
Thanks so much for that, Coach. Thanks so much for the interview, too. And we'll be right back. We'll get you caught up on all your college scores from around the nation right after we pay some bills. Get up and go, kid. He gets a big block from his own player. Takes it 99 yards for the score. Braylon Chancellor with the 99-yard return. Georgia with the win, 45-21.
All right, and Morgan, the action was limited earlier today. A lot of blowouts jumped off the screen. What do you have to say about that?
Well, yeah, you mentioned it right there, blowouts jumping off the screen today. And when I was looking at the scores before the show aired, I saw Louisville beat FIU 72-0, and that wasn't the only absurd score of the day. Ohio State 76-0 over Florida A&M University.
You definitely don't see that twice in one day.
So I don't know what they're drinking over there in Florida, but it's the two Florida schools getting completely blown out today. And Seth, does that mean anything, or are we looking too much into it?
I think it means something for one reason. Both these quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater for Louisville, Braxton Miller for Ohio State, both of them are trying to make a claim for that Heisman Trophy in December. And Heisman contenders, in the mind of the Heisman voters, they take these cupcake games and they put numbers up. If Ohio State and Louisville had only won by, say, a couple of touchdowns, still gotten the win, but only won by a couple of touchdowns, and these quarterbacks hadn't showcased it.
Okay, and I think we have a shot of the band coming down the hill right now, if I'm not mistaken. If we could take a peek over there and take a listen. Well, actually, they're not there yet, but Seth, we would talk about this every week. Rachel, what is your favorite thing about the band? Is it the first four notes you hear when they're coming down? Or
it's got to be. Like, you get the chills on your arms, like the hair like stands up kind of feeling. That first little keynote, it's awesome.
And we're taking a look right there. Let's take a listen.
Man, I swear this rain has not put a damper on the crowd at all. Look at it.
Oh, no,
coming
it's
out
Tiger Stadium. I mean, it's like I said,
now,
rain doesn't matter.
While we may be inside and, shelter from the rain, the band's out there. I don't see any protective gear on those instruments. Hopefully they're safe. I don't know how they react well in rain or anything, but
I think they're fine.
I think it's fine.
It's glad to see them out there doing their thing as always. But guys, now that we got to check a look out of that, that was nice to see. Seth, I know you're going to bring us into the keys to the game.
Yeah, we need to focus on tonight's game, not the other games that are going on. Mm-hmm. Tonight's game. We got the keys to the game coming up, right? And we need to know from Morgan, what is your key for Auburn to win?
Auburn, well, coming into today's game, for me, when it comes to Auburn, you have to look at their past games this season. And they've had a nice game against Mississippi State, winning in the last second over there. But you look at the two opponents before that, Washington State and Arkansas State, and then look at the numbers they're allowing. They're allowing over 400 yards of offense this year.
That doesn't do it.
With their defense, exactly. And now I'm not discrediting any of the offenses that they have played, but the offense that LSU's put in the field this year is a whole other level. So basically, if you're going to allow over 202 rushing yards against Mississippi State for over 5 yards a carry, now, granted, those were mostly QB runs, which of course Zach Mettenberger does not really.
Not going to be doing that.
Yeah, he does not escape the pocket too much, even though I think he's got a little bit of athleticism we don't know about. But regardless, the defense as a whole is 91st nationally and allowing 433 yards a game, as I've said. So basically, my key for Auburn, defense, step up. You have to stop Mettenberger. You have to stop the running game.
Hear that defense?
Yeah, I'm trying to give you a pep talk, Auburn. You have to step up and try to stop someone, because if you let Mettenberger do his thing and then you let the running backs get 5 yards a carry, you're going to be in for a long night. So, Rachel, that brings me to you. What is your key for Auburn? What do they have to do?
Well, I mean, Auburn's come a long way since their last season, obviously. They're 3-0 right now. I think they're doing great. Their quarterback is really showing that he does well in, tough time situations, but he hasn't been to Tiger Stadium yet, so I think he needs to, coming in, just understand what he's getting himself into, with his team, be a team leader. And I think as a whole, Auburn needs to take advantage of not the fact that LSU's defense is weaker in a sense, but that the focus is more on LSU's offense this season. So I think that Auburn needs to take the advantage and play up on LSU's defense, and just play their best, think that they can do it, and I think they should be fine. And once again, just don't forget that you're in Tiger Stadium, you're in Death Valley, don't let it get to you.
Right. Speaking of Nick Marshall coming out and really being the leader, this team is 3-0 right now. Okay, they need to remember that. That's going to be their key to win, is knowing and remembering that they're 3-0. They have something that LSU doesn't have yet, an SEC win in their back pocket.
It's true.
A good SEC win. Now, it's going to be tough in Tiger Stadium, but he has to Marshall's going to have to stay confident, have to keep his bunch confident, and attack that young secondary of LSU. I think they can come out, they can try to come out with it.
And talking about the secondary of LSU, that brings me to my point on the flip side, talking about the keys of the game for LSU. Despite the wet weather, despite the rainy, the wet football out there, may make it slippery, may make it, more likely to fumble or throw an interception. But despite all of that, Mettenberger, as you can see right here, throwing the ball down the field in previous games, he has to come out and throw the ball, attack the secondary of Auburn. They're without their starting cornerback, and so I think, especially given the quality of that team as it was, with them allowing so many yards to other teams, and especially with the injuries that are riddling them, they're missing a guy on the defensive line as well. I think, despite the wet weather, Mettenberger come out there, throw the ball down the field, and prove that you can do that against an SEC defense, because you can do it to Kent State, you can do it to UAB, and as we've seen, TCU is kind of fallen off. You can do it to TCU, but if you can do it against Auburn, you're going to prove a lot to these people, and maybe make yourself, more of a legitimate, even Heisman. The talk, that could start creeping up if you could have a good game against the Auburn defense tonight.
Right, and Morgan, I want to add on to what you said about Mettenberger. Tonight is going to be a slow game for college football in general. Just not a lot of big ones going on. So this is the big game. Everybody's tuning in to watch. And Mettenberger's been doing very well all season, but I think tonight is his chance to shine. This is his opportunity to show what he's got in this high situation. And as always, LSU needs to step it up with their defense. Keep the defense strong. When you have defense, you can't score. So I think that keep it tough. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, and like we were talking about earlier with Bridgewater and Miller, that Heisman perception is everything. And Mettenberger can really raise his Heisman stock tonight with the world watching.
In prime time, ESPN 645, right?
I think LSU's key to the game, they got to get the crowd into it. It's a tough place to play.
Exactly, Rick.
All right, well, that wraps up our keys to the game. Coming up after the show, our own Patrick Clay has a sit-down exclusive interview with the legend Dale Brown.
And welcome back to the show, and now it's time for the part of the show where we give our predictions, so a week from now we can look really silly. But anyway, Seth, let's put it on the board, let's mark it down. What's the score? And give me a bold prediction for tonight, stats-wise, anything. What you got for us?
All right, I know what you're looking for. Death Valley is one of the hardest places to play in the country. The Auburn quarterback, Nick Marshall, brand new quarterback, hasn't even made a road start in Division I football. Bear Bryant used to say that when this crowd gets going, it's like playing inside a drum. Too much for the new quarterback to handle. LSU over Auburn, 49-7.
49-7.
Put it on tape, baby.
You heard it here first from Seth Hulin. He's calling a blowout. And as you can see, look, the fans are outside waiting for the game like good Tiger fans would. But Rachel, let's go to you for your prediction. Can you outdo Seth in his 49-7 blowout?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I want to say mine on tape, but I will anyway. I'm going to say 47-40 just because I feel like this game will be really close to Auburn playing Mississippi State, I believe it was a few weeks ago, because I think it's going to be really close and it's going to come down to that last half, the last quarter, and it's going to be a very high-scoring game. Now, I do agree with what you said about Auburn's quarterback, being this his first on-the-road game. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big call.
So with that being said, with that reminder, I kind of want to move Auburn's score down maybe a few, but I still think
We're calling an audible.
I still think it's going to be a good game, and it's going to be close. both teams are going to play very well despite the weather. So.
Okay, and what was the score?
We'll do 47-35.
47-35. So you guys are both calling for 40 burgers in tonight's game. I'm going to go a little bit lower than that. I'm going to say LSU's winning 35-13. I think the defense comes out. They take advantage of the wet conditions and the sloppy play. But I think the LSU offense still finds their wheels, kind of gets their feet underneath them, and I think Mettenberger will have success going down the field. I don't think the wet footballs, the slipperiness, anything like that will have an effect on the offense. And, of course, if things do go rough, they can always rely on Jeremy Hill, or they can always rely on Alfred Blue, or Terrence McGee, Gerald Brazil. It doesn't matter. So LSU is in a good position tonight, and like I said, 35-13.
There you have Morgan with the fairly low-scoring game. Her and I, Mettenberger with 40 burgers, both of us.
Like I said, next week we'll see who is the wrongest of all. Right. But anyway, guys, that's it for today on the Tiger TV Tailgate Show. You can watch full episodes at any time online at tigertv.tv.
Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for all the latest news at ttv_sports.
And we're here Tuesday through Thursday at 6 o'clock on Campus Channel 75. Tune in and check us out.
Video of Seth going down there and talking to the fans. Let's see if we can get that up for you. It's reporter Seth Hulin checking out the tailgating experience.
We normally do hogs, and ran into a buddy of mine about 6 years ago, and it just kind of clicked. I said, how about getting me a gator for the Florida game in 2 weeks? And he did, and we've been buddies ever since, and we like to do this every couple of years.
Always for the Florida game?
Always for the Florida game. We win every year. We win all the time. It's automatic.
Alligator and chicken sauce pecan. It's terrible, but it doesn't matter.
Alligator sauce pecan.
Could I get a prediction for the game?
LSU by 4. 31-27.
34-21.
43-13 LSU. Domination station.
24-21 Gators.
What about you? Prediction for the game?
I'll go 24-21 Tigers.
Told you I saw quite a few people grilling gators on campus.
Hey, I'd say grill them up, make sure they're fried good. They're a little chewy, but we eat them too, so